Top right side, we have ourselves a Blue Zerg player fighting for the Kozan gamers. It is the one and only Solar. Bottom left side, that is a red Protoss player fighting for the Dragon Phoenix gamers. It is Hero. What's that guy's name called again? Kaczynski or something? Kowalski? Something like that. It's got the little picture of the starting guy. See how this works out for both these players. So far, Solar, you know what? Gonna be blocked with that location right there. Won't have his third base. Took him a while to get here. In fact, you know what happened actually is that he had his drone coming over. Maybe he didn't have to larvae for it. I would assume he didn't have to larvae of it. Because he lost 300 minerals, meaning that this drone was transforming into a hatchery over here already. Or at least that command was queued up. And then he cancelled that so he could start making some more drones. I don't know if that is really important at all. It's just interesting. It's just interesting. You know, seeing one thing happen and then being like, you know what, never mind. I'm gonna perhaps switch it up a little bit. Spawning pool and a Nexus on the other side. Here we're playing it very safe with the Cybercore before the Nexus. After getting the scout of the quick hatchery attempt as well by Solar, I suppose. Did take the triangular base position, by the way. Which in some cases could mean that he's looking for, you know, a quicker push across the middle. Get that creep spread out, and then you do have a clear advantage if you are going to be marching some queens of the likes across the map right there. That is an advantage you would gain by having your, you know, natural base kind of in this location. I kind of like it as well, just even if you aren't going to go for a queen push, because it just helps you establish that creep spread further out on the map a lot quicker, and, you know, gives a bit of extra safety, a safety net for what is potentially to come. The Adept here, you know, just poking in. I think I got a Zergling there. Yeah, I got one Zergling. Getting some scouting information now as well. Sees that everything's pretty proper in the Zerg base. Nothing out of the ordinary. Managing to get a bit of good damage on that Overlord. The Overlord sees that there's a Stalker involved in the mix. Might be a small indicator that there's no Stargate coming out. Could all just be a ruse, of course, as well. I like that. Micro with the drones right there, not even transforming into spore crawlers, just kind of sticking on a certain distance. And here we have an interesting build indeed, a Adept Glaive into the DT Shrine. Don't see that all too often myself. But it could be quite interesting. You're not going to be bound to making a lot of stealth detection when the Adepts are coming for you. That and Solar is a player known to be not the greatest Adept defender in the world, so I don't know, it has been a while since I've seen him play against this, to be fair. Oh, he gets in with that Ling. Oh, that is horrid. Oh, that is horrid for a Hero. Alright. Well, might want to just cancel the Dark Shrine at this point, or at least you're considering it. But that was bad. That was bad. That one Zergling managing to get in there. The entire surprise for the Dark Shrine just now out of the window. Plus that, because you did go for the Dark Shrine, still you have quite a bit of investment, meaning you're going to have less Adepts if you want to go just full-on Adept push from this point onwards. Well, regardless, the DTs are being warped in across the map. We'll have themselves a little place of empowerment there. Through the help of that pylon. Only a single queen on this side of the map. There's a Spore Crawler still being made in the main base. Two DTs might be able to just knock that one down quite quickly. And the lair is also not yet finished. Okay, it's not going to go for any killing of spore crawlers. Just kind of being a nuisance. There we go. He got close enough to this spore crawler. Yeah. Oh, unlucky hero. Unlucky. Alright, so behind this goes for a third nexus. And a couple of extra gateways. The forge coming up. Charge will be set in as well. Shield battery right here. I'm wondering if Solar is planning any type of counter aggression now after those Dark Templars, of course. Could mean that Hero just doesn't really have that much at home, of course, after trying to invest into some form of aggression in it. Just absolutely not getting anything done, really. I mean, look at this. You got 3 drones. Well, 16 things, to be fair. But I mean, if I was Solar, I would be pretty happy with this so far. 2 Archon drops might be something sufficient to do some damage here, though. Roach is already coming out. Does not seem like it's Hero's lucky day. For Zerglings, I mean, not getting anything done either, but I guess they get a good scout off, right? We see that it's still kind of gateway focused in the main base here of Hero. So he knows what he's kind of going up against. What the production capabilities of his opponents are right now. Right, there's no Stargates coming up, so you don't have to worry about that much. There's no Robotics Bay. Anything of the sorts. War Prism still kind of gaining some value here and there, though. Some more Dark Templars, 4 of them being warped in onto this 4th base. Doesn't seem like we have an Overseer anywhere in the neighborhood. Where are they? They're still a little bit slow, unfortunately. The creep denial with these Archons is being done very properly. Definitely containing Solar on his own side of the map. Let's see what his vision is kind of like. He has the watchtowers, which is helping him out a ton. He's got some links over here ready to see anything coming, and there's a bit of an open pathway through the middle, which does have me worried. That could be a potential blind side here for Solar. But maybe that's where he is going to be trying to push from with his roaches. Now, he's not maxed out on supplies, so there's no need to start trading these roaches out just quite yet. Because he is getting the lurker technology. Seems like he has left himself quite a nice bit of supply to incorporate Hydras, lurkers and vipers all into the mix here as well. But maybe because he still has that supply lingering, that could be a reason why this Protoss army is going to do a bit better than it would have otherwise. Oh, never mind, he's out. He's out of there. Wants nothing to do with him at this point in time. I think he's... Well, this is odd, isn't it? Him moving backwards right now? Really wasn't expecting that. I guess he did make the robotics base, so maybe he's just waiting for those units as well. Starting to get a pretty reasonable army. 5 Immortals, 4 Archons. A couple of Sentries mixed in as well for a bit of spell casting. It's always nice. And then with the Disruptors there also, I mean, that could be pretty good. Could be helping him out against those lurkers quite nicely. Just gotta be careful though. Roaches, Zerglings, all still lingering on this left side of the map. That is where Hero is trying to expand towards. The army of the Protoss also coming in from the backside. These Lings look like they won't be able to do too much. Oh, ooh, that would be... Oh, that would have been something. Lings don't go for those Disruptors. I'm not even sure if they would have been able to get them. Go for the robotics facility instead. Unfortunately, there's a shield battery there. Yeah, those two disruptors, I feel like that would have been a pretty good job. Perhaps a missed opportunity right there. I mean, does he have anything else AoE splash damage wise? Not really. So if he had gotten these two, it would have just been 7 Immortals and the 4 Archons that he's up against. Oh, this is 8 Roaches falling in that situation. The trading definitely going into favor for Hero here. Solar is a player that likes to be defensive. Sometimes it does feel like he has a bit of trouble finding the actual kill switch for his opponents. You know, he gets himself in a good position and then he just can't really close it out as properly as maybe you would expect in some cases from, you know, the highest tiers Zerg players. Alright, Hero gets himself a base here, not bad. Nice force fields as well, but he's losing a lot of stuff right now. He no longer has Disruptors here, he has the Immortals still, 5 Immortals, 3 Archons. I suppose that is still the majority of the Immortals and Archons, right? Yes, only lost 1 Archon, so... Yes, he lost a lot of gateway stuff, but that's not the main part of this force. Does need to replenish it as quickly as he can. As this Zerg force now dropping in between all the Protoss bases. There's a Zealot run by as well as the Immortal and Archon force is still going towards the main base of the Zerg. Starting to get quite an interesting situation here. A lot of pieces on the board moving at once. The entirety of the Solar base now under severe threat. The main base of Hero still looking pretty promising. We'll be able to make use of those gateways for a little bit longer here. Squeeze out 1 or 2 extra waves of units. Might not be the worst in these types of situations. Getting on top of these eggs, the cocoons of the Hydralisk, and killing them off before they manage to do anything else. Also a very good thing here for Hero. But then again, he still will have to deal with all the lurkers that are left out on the map. Who just got back at the main base of Solar. Solar still has a very strong army, but Hero definitely still has a better kind of structure set up at his home base, although he is losing all of his production. He has 2 Stargates here, to be fair. Let's give him that. He's got a Robo over here. Hoping to see a couple of gateways being mixed in as well, but... There we go. Would be a proper thing. A couple of oracles. That is a very cool thing to see. Together with the mothership. They are going to be able to shut down the main force of Zerg in the main base here. Smaller little enclave of Zerg units still on the 4th base of the Hero. Not sure if this will be enough to actually break our Protoss player. If he gets the Nexus, that would be a very nice thing already, since then it's kind of a 2 base versus a 1 base, with a 3rd base on the way as well. So Solar now in a position where he doesn't necessarily need to kill off his opponent right here, right now. There is an opportunity for him to move backwards here as well and just come back in later again with the economic advantage. But yeah, alright. It is enough. It is enough. We'll be keeping the push going, and that is going to let Hero pillars that make the characteristics of one of these pro gamers, right? Get to see a lot of games, a lot of adjusting, all that stuff. And then in the end, when things are very close, you get to see where they really default back onto, right? When the tensions is way up. What's the strategy then? Usually the strategies that I feel most comfortable with and show their true natures then in those situations. Bottom right side, we have a red Protoss player fighting for the Dragon, the Phoenix, and a couple of gamers as well. He is Hero. Top left side, the blue Zerg is awaiting the Protoss units as well. He is the blue Zerg Solar. from Kaisi Gaming. Can't believe his lucky stars this round, of course. Did manage to get that natural in the actual place where it wants to be. Maybe Hero deciding against trying to get that blocked off. Oh, maybe Solar already went for it a little bit earlier than you would normally. I don't think so. Drone count seems pretty regular. To me, at least. And then again, I'm not the greatest with the drone counts and the probe counts and then figuring out what build order was used. Not the greatest, but regardless, I mean, Solar has this hatchery on the natural. Perhaps Hero doesn't mind it too much since it's a map where it's very easy to get 3 bases anyway, so it feels like a little bit less important than doing something like that on a map where the 3rd base is a lot more exposed, right? You create that extra tension for the Zerg to perhaps try and make that extra padded protection for that base that is hard to defend. Gonna have a Stargate opening this time around from Hero. Always like to see it. Gonna keep our eyes peeled for what kind of unit he wants to go for. Assuming it will be a Void Ray, but we'll see. We'll see. Started making some oracles just now in that previous game, rather than Void Ray. So maybe okay. No, it is the Void Ray. We move on in with the Adept. Gonna see a healthy drone line here on the natural. Check out that 3rd base as he did. Even gets a creep tumor here with the Adept. That's that's pretty nice. It's like a little present. Gets a drone. You know what? This Adept's done his job. Done his job. The Overlord trying to come in for the scout. Sees that there's a Void Ray now. He's done his job as well. Can't really expect much more from an Overlord. Alright, we are going into the oracles right now though. 1 oracle, 2nd oracle as well coming in. No 2nd Stargate yet, though. So we might see a transition out of the Stargate later down the line into, like, the Robo, I would imagine. Maybe it's Twilight. Probably Robo, right? Usually you go into the Robo, try to get yourself out those hefty units granted to you by the Robotics Bay, and oh dear. That Oracle. Oh, it's lucky day. Just not it's lucky day. Thought he would have been able to save it, but well, either he chose not to spend any more effort into trying to save it because he thought it was already lost, or there was just a bit of mismicro, right? Either way, that is a dead Oracle now, and instead of 3, we have only 2. It's still one-shot drones, so I mean, in that sense, they're still gonna do okay. But they have a 1/3 of the HP though than they would have had otherwise. Or 2/3 of the HP. They have 1/3 less. Unless if he loses another one. Which hasn't happened yet. Six workers so far in total after the 6-minute mark. It's not too bad. It's okay. Hopefully we'll get to see some more. There we go. Look at that. 4 actually very quickly being picked off again. Circling run by, unfortunately being met with the adepts as well as a shield battery, so nothing there for them to find damage-wise anyway. We'll need a whole load more Zerglings to do anything there. Oh, okay. Yeah, with the oracles there. Thought for a moment Hero made a mistake, but no, it's actually, you know, with the oracles there, he would have been able to kill off a lot of Zerglings. Hey, Jussel, how you doing, buddy? Little Overseer going for the scout as well. Didn't manage to see the transition coming in here. Well, yeah, we saw the Twilight. He saw two of these gateways. Where's the other gateways? The other gateways are over here that also got scouted. So, getting a good idea of the production Hero is setting up right now. That's going to give him a clue on what kind of capabilities Hero's army is going to be at pretty soon. Which is very important for the Zerg player to know here. He's making a lot of Mutalisk, and the Mutalisk could help out a ton. Unless if they have to fight those Archons, of course. That could be a problem. Gotta be very aware of the multi-box here. Or the magic box. Multi-box. Oh, he's tagging up a little bit. He is still focusing down the War Prism, so he wants to get these Archons. He really wants to get these Archons. The Archons still getting a lot of Mutalisk as well. Can they get one more shot? Yes, they can. So they get 8 Mutalisk. 8 Mutalisk for the 2 Archons. That is not the most efficient trade. And now we only have 5 Mutalisk. Rather than 13, we only have 5. And that is a whole lot less to worry about. I guess Solar did manage to grab those 2 Archons as well. But, I mean, it just feels like it's just benefiting Hero more in this situation. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong because we are having 15 roaches coming up. Maybe Solar actually looking to get aggressive here. No, he's only at the 160 supply, right? This is around the supply he stuck at the previous game as well. Trying to go to Lurk attack from this point onwards. Mutalisk still, you know, trying to get any damage dealt, but a couple of Stalkers being warped in with the shield batteries and the cannons. It's already a little bit of a struggle here, it seems, for the Mutalisk. Still makes something happen, somewhat. Lost 4 extra Mutalisk. Now suddenly, Stalkers everywhere, Archons everywhere. Definitely overstayed his welcome here. Quite a tight squeeze there from all the angles. As more Mutalisk just drop to the ground, only 4 remaining once again. Colossi started up on that production tab here. It's not going to be too far removed until they are part of the equation. They're going to do pretty well against this army setup of Solar here, I imagine. But they don't have extended thermal lance just quite yet, so Ravages and Roaches might have a better shot at taking them down. This could still be quite dangerous. He's got a hefty Zergling number here. Nicely guiding the Zerglings away from the Archon onto the Immortals. So that is some nice micro there from Solar. The Immortals kind of attacking the Zerglings there for a long period of time instead of Roaches. Will it matter though? Disruptors. Ooh, Disruptors from the backside. Did he switch up the Colossi into Disruptors after seeing the Roach army come out? I suppose so. Oh, doesn't save one of the Disruptors, but I think he's going to save his own skin here. The Mutalisk are in the main base. What are they doing? Not much. Not much at all. They shut down the production, so that's a nice little attempt. If you have those 4 Mutalisk, right? I didn't anticipate much happening with the 4 Mutalisk, but they shut down quite a bit of production, huh? 3 gateways and a Stargate. That's a smart play, really, from Solar. Not going to get much else done with those Mutalisks. And then being in the fight isn't going to, you know, cause that much extra trouble for Hero. But being able to shut down pylons and with the gateways being stopping them from warping in more units, now that could be very helpful. Didn't quite work out for him, though, of course, as we can see. Making more Banelings instead at this moment in time. How many zealots are we on? 11 zealots. Disruptors there as well. Still making some more archons, perhaps. Ailing speed still a bit removed, about 20 seconds or so, I would say. And that is a scary place to start putting your army when it's not that quick. The Baneling still don't have Baneling speed. 6 seconds remain, and that disruptor shot definitely strikes true. Big counter-attack here from Zealots, and a big counter-attack here with Roaches. The Roaches get a cannon, and the Zealots actually get obliterated as well. So neither of them finding a lot of counter-attack damage, but both of them kind of pulling back their main force here, and the tensions in the middle kind of calming down a little bit because of this. Roaches are going to lead the Stalker group here a little bit towards that new base. Oh my dear! Oh, that's rough, Solar. That is quite rough. Really starting to fall behind on the unit's lost tab now with these disruptor shots continuously getting very good connections onto the Baneling group. Be careful here, Solar. Could be in a lot of trouble. More Banelings getting obliterated by those disruptors. Disruptor shots now kind of being used. I'm not sure if he has any left. I don't think so, but he has the 4 Colossi now. He's got the Archons. And there's not much left for Solar to do anything about it. I haven't seen that much air coming out of Hero, have we? I suppose we saw the Oracles and such, of course, the previous game, but you guys know what I mean, right? With air, it's like the double Stargate plate. Now we're seeing from a lot of Protoss players, Hero just doesn't seem to be that interested in it in these first couple of games. Maybe we're gonna still see him incorporated in the later on parts of this series, but so far not that much interest in it, right? Well, we saw the fleet beacon in the first game. To be fair, right? He did make a couple of Tempest, or at least he made one. But we never quite got to see the air army coming into fruition. He only had 1 Tempest or something like that. Maybe having had a carrier there would have been better, actually, thinking about it right now. Probably. Probably. Maybe been able to snipe the Vipers or some Lurkers somewhere. A single Tempest is just never gonna, you know, give you any value in any fight. Ooh, little sneaky probe coming in for the pylon block over here. That's gotta be frustrating. Solar getting delayed quite heavily here, actually. Look at that, already 400, almost to the 500 minerals now. And even more than that. Here we go. The probe tried to go in for a second attempt, doesn't quite manage. That would have been brutal. That would have that would have been cruel. Oh, it's like schoolyard bully status right there from Hero. If that would have went through. Alright, the wall seeming to be a little bit completed now. We have got ourselves another Void Ray plate. The single Stargate. Somewhat imagining myself here as the... I'm imagining that we're going to stick to the single Stargate here once again. It's the 3rd base. Couple of Oracles once again. At the same time, I don't think Solar is going to be caught off guard here by any type of kind of Oracle aggression at this point in time anymore, right? He's already making Spore Crawlers. He's had the previous game where he knows, alright, you like to go into Oracles after that first Void Ray. And yeah, looks pretty well prepared. Could still lose a couple of drones here. Yeah, okay. Good saves, 2 of them into the Spore Crawlers they turn. And keeps them both protected. Circling's here, a bit over ambitious. Thinking The world is their oyster, but not quite. It is still that of the Adept, at least on this side of the map. Oh wow, he gets 2 creep tuners there. That's pretty silly. Is he going to be able to get that other one as well? No, okay. It's already regaining energy. He turned it off. Or maybe it turned off on its own. Wait a moment. Wait a moment. What's this? What's this? There is a second Stargate. There is actually air weapons being constructed. Hero. Hero. Doing some stuff right now. He's going to go for the Void Rays. But he will be going up against this Roach attack. And we have seen these types of Roach attacks still be quite formidable against the Void Rays in some cases, right? Because you just don't kind of have that firepower. It's a bit similar as to when you have a ZVZ, where it's one player goes for Mutalisk and the other player goes for Roaches. And the Roaches just kind of run in, and then the Zerg just, you know, he's going to clean it up eventually, but he just doesn't have the firepower. It takes too long to take out the Roaches. Now, this is a little bit less of that, of course, because the Void Rays do a lot better against those types of units. They're a bit higher on the DPS per Void Ray that you have. Let's see. Let's see if this is going to work out. We do have shield batteries in most of these locations. Actually, all of these locations. So, should be feeling pretty comfortable there. And that's a significant status wards. 2 Ravagers, as well as a lot of Zerglings right there. Getting shot down now. Solar gonna try to stay on top of this, of course. Wants to have those units participating with the fight as well. Gonna be unleashed fairly soon. There we go. The Void Race now tried that. No, I'm not sure if that was actually target fire. Allowing one of the queens to stay alive for very long on very little HP. Going backwards. Going. Well, I'm seeing a lot of stuff happen here for Hero, but he's just not managing to get that ground going really for himself, is he? He's lost the static defense. He will be losing quite a few probes. The Void Rays decide to go on a offensive flurry right now across the map in a fit of rage after not being able to protect their own kind. On the other side of the map, he is gonna lose one of these Void Rays right here. Oh, no. Yeah, okay, he is still. Thought he saved it, then he didn't save it, and then, you know, it's just weird. StarCraft 2 is weird sometimes. 15 probes have gone down, a Nexus has gone down, the Void Ray is still on the prowl, looking for another hatchery to take down. But this Zerg army still moving forwards as well. We have an enormous defensive setup here, though. Look at that. 6 cannons, 5 shield batteries, and about, well, a couple of pylons powering them up as well. Great force fields from those queens, by the way. Wonderfully done. And now Solar is going to lose all these units here. It's hard to imagine him getting much of this out. Maybe he could have just left with the Ravagers and the Zerglings a lot sooner, to be fair, and just have the queens be taken out eventually. And then maybe the queens would have been just left there, and the Void Rays chase down the Ravagers, and then they come back for the queens later down the line, because the queens are so slow and not going to get away anyway. I don't know. I don't know. Well, regardless, Hero just put himself in a formidable position in this game, I would say. Didn't just hold off against that attack. He managed to do a good bit of counter-attack damage as well. So the damage of his own Nexus and the 15 probes going down wasn't as significant. Why do we have 2 Hydra dens over here? Solar perhaps getting a bit nervous. Getting a bit nervous. Not sure what he's doing anymore. Unless he's gonna go for double upgrades. That would be quite something. Z! Come on. Okay, I don't think he will. Double Hydra upgrade. These Void Rays, prismatic alignments, and that hatchery's just gone. Look at that. That melts. You need to have Hydras and Queens on every single base in order to stop that from happening now. This Void Ray army just seems to have grown beyond the scope where Solar can still deal with it. Solar now on a 2 base economy versus a 3 base Protoss that is going up to carriers. It's not much of a rougher position to imagine than this for a Zerg player. At least one that they'll realistically still try to play out until the end. Which we all know is somewhat doomed to failure, unfortunately. But then again, he is Solar. He's going to give it a good go. A good bash. He's got a good amount of Hydralisk. He's got the Queens. A couple of Ravagers. Right, it's an army made to take out air units. Unfortunately, they won't have any creep where they'll be fighting. And they'll be fighting at cannons and shield batteries as well. It's going to be a rough fight. It definitely will be. Hero here under the choice whether or not to engage right off the bat or to wait for his own static defense to kick in, as well as those Queens, of course, to be able to participate in the fight. And it's going to start going in. I think he should just go backwards now. Yeah, he should definitely just go backwards now, right? He's picking off more of those Hydras. Transfuse is coming in. I feel like right now the Queens, well, actually they're not participating just quite yet. Not fully, at least. You know what? I think Hero's got this, no matter how he fights this. I was just hoping he would get the cannons more involved, right? Force the fight to take place with all these cannons shooting as well. But, I mean, he didn't even need it, necessarily. So, it's another GG right there. Hero's starting to take control of this best of 7 here, guys. 2 victories in his pocket right now. Very regular openings here. Once again, we do have the Nexus in front of the Cyber Core this time around. Hero feeling a little bit safe. I fully agree with this. He should definitely do stuff like this against Solar. Solar does do some quick pooling here and there, but again, right? Just never feel like he is as dangerous on the aggression as some of the other Zergs. I guess that's the best way to put it, right? I feel like his strengths kind of lie elsewhere with the macro and stuff like that. I think that's where his true skills kind of lie. Let the scouting commence. Stargates, there we go. It's working out for him, right? So, gotta stick to it. Gotta stick to it. Wasn't quite sure if the Adept would commit there. Bloop. Back into existence. I wouldn't mind seeing some StarCraft movie, really. Like, especially some sort of a heist movie with the Protoss being involved. That could be cool. Because they have all this awesome teleporting technology, right? There's probably like a ton of really cool things and scenarios you could try to imagine with, you know, a heist movie being involved with all these teleportations and psi beam lasers, uplinks, all that stuff. Could be cool. It's gonna be one of those complicated movies nobody that doesn't know StarCraft understands, but you know what, you gotta have those type of movies out there. That'll be a good laugh for some people. Me, mostly, but that's alright with me. Right, Oracle kind of, well, still getting some damage done, right? 4 or 5 drones in total. It's pretty good, pretty good. Keeps it alive as well, as there is a secondary Oracle on the way. It's just the power of going Oracle first rather than that Void Ray. You do shut down the scouting, but of course the Oracle first comes in a lot quicker. Might be able to hit the base before there is any Spore Crawlers there. Circlings on the other side here. Looks like that's just a scouting group. We do have more coming, but behind this it's just drones on the production tab. Right, some lesser Zergs. You as a Zerg, you learn that it is very difficult to break a third base over Protoss that is being set up, especially with the pylon and the adepts over here. It is just so cost efficient. Now there's the shield battery there as well, so you would never be able to get it really. But it is still something you sometimes see happen, especially if the couple of first adepts kind of get in trouble, right? You do have that opportunity as the Zerg to try and get the third base. Or at least stop it from being a thing for a little bit. This, however, is not enough for Zerglings, of course. Nor are they there at the right time, as the entire static defense as well as the walling has already begun. The SimCity has scrawled around that nexus ready to defend. A lot of gateways here being produced, as well as a spire coming in from our Zerg. I've been trying to make the spire play work now for a couple of games. Does feel like he's struggling a little bit with it, but let's see, Oracles, 2 of them. Alright. Wasn't quite sure if he could make the run, so one of them goes back, I suppose. Might be looking to get some damage done later down the line. Oh, Zergling drop actually took place here. You have that Overlord. A lot of pieces running across the map. So far it's mostly Zerglings, but Solar doing a pretty funky style here with the Zerglings just kind of running around. I guess what he's doing is trying to make his opponents spend money on Zealots and Adepts rather than Stalkers, right? And then afterwards he's going to be able to come in here with these Mutalisks and shut this army down entirely with, because he's got, how many Mutalisks? He's got 13 Mutalisks on the way. Yeah, this is pretty smart. This is pretty smart from Solar. Now he's got Mutalisk versus a pretty much... Oh my god, he gets the Warp Prism. All those Stalkers just getting denied. The Mutalisk now jumping in on top of this. It's a race against time. Whether or not the HP bars of the workers and the hatcheries are going to go down before the HP bars of these Protoss units go down. The Zerglings definitely helping out a ton against those Immortals. The hatchery does still fall. And there's still a ton of danger here in the Zerg bases. These drones, under a lot of threat, are going to take significant losses. But the entirety of the Protoss army has been obliterated. No longer part of the equation here. Hero's still setting up another wave of Zealots, though, as he's already struggling to get anything started here. To make somewhat back a spinal cord back in his military assets. Give it somewhat of an oomph. Warp Prism is back now with 2 Archons protecting it against the Mutalisk. Hero setting up a shop again with these Zealots right here. We'll be chopping away at those Zerglings. Mutalisk being forced backwards to deal with this. As once again we have a good amount of drones being taken out here, 8 of them in total. Be watchful for that Warp Prism here, of course. Cannot afford to lose the second one, I would say. And another big force of Protoss just goes down quite rapidly. So far, he's going to leave that base, not waste any time trying to shut it down. He's just going to go straight forwards. He knows he needs to do game-ending damage rather than just a good bit of damage, as his entire main base, natural base, and third base are losing every individual probe. Starting to push on through. Does he have... Where are his probes? Does he still have one? He has one over here. Where did it go? Okay. Did he try to recall that probe? What happened? Very interesting. Well, he's somewhat saving his main base now. His natural base is still here as well. It's a bit unpowered, but it could still work. This is a weird game. This is a weird game. I'm not sure how this goes. Mutalisk, they could get killed, so that is always a danger you have to keep in mind. Mining should resume here for Hero, but he only has one worker and 65 minerals, so it's going to be a really, really, really long time before he's anywhere near the point where he can start making units again. Solar, on the other hand, might be in a similar boat as he is losing his final base here, at least in a little bit he will. It's going to take a minute, but if he does, that would be quite crucial. He's got another base over here, of course, coming in. Has to be careful that those drones don't give away the location. They are all moving along this track here. Okay, sends them back now, so that's good. The army for Hero knows that he cannot afford to have this Zerg force just running back across the map. Does not want to continue onwards with the base trade. Oh, but that is nasty. No Zerglings getting in there. Mutalisk, however, I mean, they are not going to have that much trouble. As long as they don't stack up on top of one another. Quite quickly take care of the Archon there. The Archon, a very powerful, expensive tool in this army, which... Oh, wow, that is a lot of drones once again going down. There is mining here, of course. All the mining for Hero now shut down. Not a single probe remaining. And these are all his buildings that he's got left. It's quite a couple of them. And to be fair, Solar doesn't have that much, right? He's got the extractors here, the spawning pool as a... Well, there is still creep going around there. And then the hatchery over here. I mean, oh boy, he's got another hatchery right now. It seemed like a winnable base trade, but then again, Hero has no idea where this hatchery is. He doesn't know what else is still out and about on the map. He's trying to find it now, I guess. But he is, yeah, he's just in a horrid position now. He doesn't have the army anymore either, really, to take on this force of Mutalisk, I would say. At least not with the Zerglings there as well. Although that went pretty smooth. He took out a couple of them there. Oh, the Zealot! It's found the base. It's found the base. Solar back into a corner. Does get that Zealot. The army for Hero, though. Will it still be able to fight this? Maybe. I mean, Archons, they are pretty darn good. Especially if they get a bit of splash damage going. Do manage to kill off all the Zerglings right now. Solar just wants to do a base trade. That's all he wants. He does not want to continue anything else. It's just like, let me kill your structures. Just sit back, relax, and just let me macro up or let me kill your structures, please. A couple of Stalkers here realize they have to stop this mining taking place. Stalkers with Blink do still kind of get demolished here by a few Zerglings and the drones themselves as well. Very rough for Hero to lose his units right now. 27 army supply versus 44. It seems like Solar's just kind of a little bit more on top of keeping his army alive. Those Mutalisk regenerating, of course, as well. Every time they kind of take a little bit of a fight. Now I'm just going to go for it. Stalker's in trouble. The great Warpers and Micro there, trying to get those Mutalisk to restack up on top of one another, but it's just not enough. GG is gold. The Zerg side looking pretty normal as well. Kind of hoping to see that probe do its thing again with the pylon block. It's always fun to see. Oh, man. Well, that was embarrassing. That's the problem. Now you guys all know that I box from left to bottom right rather than left to top right. If I was able to do this, I would have been able to get that adapt right there. Like this. Oh, I guess I won't maybe. I guess I wouldn't be able to do it. Alright, well. Moving on forward. Not that many drones going down there. I believe actually none of them. 5 Zerglings did fall though, and that means some larvae will have to transform themselves into Zerglings if Solar wants to keep that extra padded safety net kind of around. We have the Stargate again. Yes, we do. Did get scouted. Zerglings on top of it. Oracle first, once more. Managed to kill off 2 adepts as well, though. So, I'm not sure if we were having a plan with the adepts later down the line, but if there was, then it's going to be a bit more difficult with, you know, 2 adepts less than you would have had normally. We do see that sometimes, right? The Twilight coming out after the Stargate. Usually, if that's the plan, though, you do see that Void Ray first, because it becomes a lot more important to shut down the scouting of your opponent, rather than just, you know, going for a bit more regular play. It's okay if that Overlord is still around a little bit, because you're just doing the regular stuff, right? It's not that much you can do as the Zerg to immediately punish anything here, or prepare in a specific way. I guess it's still nice for the Zerg realizing that it doesn't have to prepare for something, right? So it can just drone up, which is also an advantage on its own, but you guys know what I mean. You guys know what I mean. It's not going to give him any real significant advantage being like, oh, well, now I got spore crawlers for your DTs, or oh, now I just got a ton of queens everywhere and roaches ready to defend your adept glaive attack. It's just, alright, well, let me do my thing and you do your thing over there, and we'll see whose thing is a bit better. Oh, Zerglings, all of them are going to be able to get in. They get on top of that pylon right there. Oh, that could be bad. 2 gateways unpowered right here. So is the blink upgrade. That's going to be delayed. Robotics facility would be unpowered. Oracles need to get themselves over here. Get on top of those Zerglings. Couple of probes already falling. 6 of them, in fact, in total. Quite a bit more than I anticipated. 2 Zerglings trying to wait out the Oracle beams, but not quite going to be successful with that. That seemed like a very nice little play right there. Definitely worked out for good old Solar. Luckily for Hero, those Protoss buildings, once they are being warped in, it doesn't matter whether or not that pylon remains. The warping will just continue onwards regardless, and now has that robo available. 5 gateways behind this, blink upgrade coming in, as well as the plus weapons upgrade. We're going to see a big blink push, I would imagine, coming out of Hero here, trying to get a cancellation on the 4th base of Solar. Talking about the 4th base, there's that drone now moving along. The Oracles, are they going to jump on top of this? They should be able to. Yeah. With 4 Oracles, I'm fairly confident in saying that you will be able to shut down that hatchery as well, even if that drone gets there. If you're there on time, you're going to be able to burn down that hatchery as well. He's going to try to gun down these Zerglings. Doesn't look like it. It's kind of nice for Solar, to be fair, with these Zerglings. What he's doing is keeping those Oracles on the Protoss side of the map as well, which means a lot less stress for him trying to prevent any drone damage from coming in. Oracle's not going to go for this one. We'll be looking for something else, I suppose. Coming back right now. Queen's there to defend. So War Prism coming in. Here we go. He sees that that's a 4th base. Wants to try and make the push happen here and cancel that 4th base from existence. Cancel culture is a big deal right now, of course, as we all know. Brodos popularizing this thing in human society right now as well. Here we go, cancelling that hatchery. First and foremost, that's how it starts. Now looking to cancel the rest of the Zerg. Mutalisk moving along the side of the map now on the left over here. That's not an enormous amount, but it's good enough to really start doing some damage here. The Stalker's actually blinking forwards. That's a bit of a surprise. Ravager Biles do manage to land on some of those sentries, but not really taking them out just yet. And Solar still struggling actually to make this work. Going to be in a bit of trouble here now, running away with the drones. Drones are going to be pulled as well on the backside. That Immortal does seem to be a bit on its lonesome. Could be targeted down quite nicely. More Biles landing on the units of Hero. I guess Hero a bit busy perhaps with the micro on the other side of the map as well. He's lost quite a few probes. And now moved in with those Stalkers. That should be secure, but of course so is the other side of the map right now. Alright, so 4th base got cancelled very quickly, being re-established here on the top left side. Solar realizing he needs to get that going as quickly as possible. So kind of started it in the midst of all of that we were seeing. Mutalisk finding a bit of damage across the map as well, really helping Solar out, still making this a good fight. Might be ready for another push. It's nowhere near the amount of supply that Solar has, of course, but he has a lot more mobility, and he's got himself those force fields as well to buy some time. I don't think he has any business being here right now, but I mean, maybe you'll find some units out of position here or there, get a good snipe, blink away. These are not the fights I would like to see him take. These are definitely not the fights I would like to see him take right now. Good force fields, but those Roaches and Ravagers, they are just going to start moving forwards here. And this Stalker force is just not ready anymore to take on this much Zerg Roach firepower. Don't have +2 attack either, I only have the +1 attack. Not that much left of the Stalker force right here. I think we might have a Protoss capitulating momentarily. That's a lot more Stalkers coming in actually. Guess he still had many more left ready to defend for this Mutalisk, but now with all his eggs in one basket, even still it's just not enough. It's just not enough, is it? Is it? It isn't, right? Is it? Would it be? No, that's just too much. That is too much from Solar. He's going to be able to take out this base. And with it, most likely the odds that Hero sees of winning this game. There we go. GG is called. Solar starts with another point lead here. There we are. We have arrived in Blackett Industries. In the top right side, there is a blue Zerg player fighting for the Kaisi Gamers. Put your hands together for Solar. Big sweep across the stage, making everyone seasick at the same time. It's what I do. Bottom left side, there's a red Protoss player fighting for Dragon Phoenix Gamers. It is Hero. Aha! He has arrived in time. This probe, once again, being a little bit of a nuisance. Right, bothersome probe. Always frustrating to deal with for those Zerg players. You know what? It's just the way the world is run right now. Got the Nexus on the way with a Cyber Core as well. Straight afterwards, so... Always like to point it out, right? Whether or not the Protoss is feeling a little bit more or less secure. Nexus first always indicates the Protoss feeling pretty secure. Looking to once again get a denial on the third base here for Solar, at least for a little bit. Hiding the probe, very nice. Wants to be a nuisance, but he gets found out. Might still be able to get a pylon there, but okay, doesn't go for it. We'll evacuate the location. On the other side of the map, a single Zergling enters the fray, but oh, that adept right there, just in the nick of time, shuts down the scouts. Means that the Overlord is going to have to be sent in anyway. No Stalkers to shoot this one down. My question would be, okay, we are going to get Void Ray first. We're seeing a lot of Oracle first, but right now going back into the Void Ray. And like I said, because of that Void Ray, there is a bit more of a possibility to get away with something sneaky afterwards, right? Trying to hide something, be a bit inconspicuous about what is going on your side of the field. Starts up an Oracle. I don't think he's going to try anything too weird here. It's the third base, it seems. Yeah, very straight, standard, stand-up Protoss. Straight up Protoss. So it's just regular old, good old Protoss. Might get another second Stargate though. Wouldn't mind seeing that again. Yeah, not the place you want to be as the Oracle right now. Not gonna find any value there. Guess not that much here either to be found, nor in the main base. There's no spores here, but there's the two queens. Alright, 2 kills on this Oracle so far. I believe a drone and a Zergling. Bit of tacking going on, and we do have the double Stargate once again, by the way, with the weapons upgrade. Now, didn't work out the last time for Hero here because it did get scouted, and immediately Solar went in for a massive roach attack base trade kind of situation. It's going to be more difficult for Hero, for Solar to figure out what is going on exactly, of course. Quicker fleet beacon as well. Doubling down on this kind of a gamble in a way. Hoping he's going to get himself into that late game. You should be able to. Double Void Ray might already give away a little bit that we are going to have that air army coming in. And again, wow, this is very nice. 2 Void Rays in total, enough to shut down the 4th base here. I've seen some other Protoss, I believe it was maybe Trap. I think it was Trap or Zest. Maybe both of them actually. Going in with the 4 Void Rays rather than the 2. The Hero making it work with just 2. Being like, you know what, you don't need the 3rd and the 4th. You can just go in with number 1 and 2 and that's going to do the trick I guess if you delay it later down the line, it is a bigger delay, of course, right? If you force the cancellation at like 20% or 30%, it's a lot less impactful than when you force the cancel at like 80% or 90%. It's a lot more time. That 300 minerals was just soaked up in a building that's just not gonna be anything. Zerglings once again trying to figure out what's going on here. 10 Corruptors on the production tab, as well as a Hive coming in. Looks like Solar is not going to be worrying about ending this game too quickly. Won't play his macro style here. Oh, got to be careful with that Oracle. Valuable unit, of course. Void Race did pretty good against those Corruptors. It's going to require that assistance of the Queens before he takes that fight. Hero realizes he doesn't really want those Queens involved himself, so gives up the chase. Circling drop into the main base. Might be able to pick up some units here or there. No shield battery available. And a single Void Ray. It's going to take a while to take out all these Zerglings, of course. Oracle tagging. Zealots warped in quite quickly, and things are secure once again. Right. So didn't get that much done with those Zerglings, but I guess he gets the scout right. He sees that the fleet beacon is there. I guess he already knew because the Void Ray speed is already in effect. I'm not sure if he picked up on the Void Ray speed though. But he should know about it right now. Might be very difficult for him to take the fight with Queen Corruptor combined now, though. He has Vipers. Vipers are very big units for these types of fights as well. Parasitic Bomb can make this an incredibly difficult micro war here for Hero. So far, nothing being cast yet. The Void Ray's not finding that much damage yet either. So let's script getting rather close to the expansions of Hero. Hero expanding towards the top left side. That's kind of where Solar is starting to set up as well. He's making himself a Spore Crawler forest already. We are pre-10 minutes, but it's probably a good idea considering the location here being so close. Since we are most likely going to go into a late game here anyway. It's good, cool to see Solar starting to prep the late game quite early on. This is the style that I feel most comfortable watching Solar play. It's what I feel like is kind of his forte, right? Kind of his game. The one he feels most comfortable with. Playing defensive, getting up to Broodlords, getting the Vipers, Infestors, everything he needs to Spore Crawler forests. Get a good portion of the map, and then from there on out, just let the opponent trade into him. Inefficiently, of course. Always takes a little bit longer. Which might be the reason why we haven't seen this play that much from Solar just yet. Could also be because Solar wants to be practicing his early and mid game as well. Is that in sight? Yes it is. Okay, so we can see this. It's a big Zealot warp in though on the top side. May require a bit of a response. The Queens are being sent over. Which means this fight here with the... Oh, those are some good feedbacks. Fungal does strike through to the High Templar as well though. And the Broodlords come in. Are going to be able to shut that down. But those feedbacks hitting every single Viper and most of the Infestors as well. Still, I'm not entirely sure if we want to start pushing in here. Viper's regaining some of that energy, and yeah, I guess this is enough for Solar to turn tail and run. Losing that base, just giving it up. Now losing his Broodlords here. Those Void Rays going uncontested for the moment. A couple of Fungals could put quite a slowdown onto this army, but that is rough. Recalls them out of there. 2 bases down. The Queen's not taking the greatest fight either. I don't know if they were seeing themselves more so as a circling rather than the Queen's trying to get a full surround on those Zealots. Do kill them off eventually. Ultralisk now on the field as well. It's going to be a bit easier to mitigate what those High Templar can do. But at the same time, this amount of Void Rays is going to melt Ultralisk. Like, look at how quickly they die. That's without prismatic alignment, and that was just like 1/5 of the army shooting that Ultra. DT's on the top. You know what? More things are happening here. It's looking really good for Hero. Solar's got his tools out on the map, but he's just kind of being out-positioned in a way. Struggling to keep up with the movement of Hero's army, as well as kind of struggling with getting the spells on top of those Void Rays without being you know, fed back by those High Templar. Is that how you say it? Fed back? I don't know. It does sound fun. It does sound like a fun thing to say. It's much more fun than feedbacked. Oh, this is a big fungal. Alright, this could be trouble. Parasitic Bomb and Fungal both on these, on top of these Void Rays as now the Corruptors go forwards. Get a pretty solid trade going. Hero immediately re-queuing up full Void Rays right here. Does want to stick to them. Whopping in a ton of Zealots. This could be a moment for Solar to start making some headway. This Queen's going in first. There's some speed zone activity here, so that's helping out those Queens a ton, but going in before the extra help is there. Now the Corruptors go in. Very desynchronized army here. As that is just more and more harassment coming in from every which angle. There were Zealots over here as well. They were taken out by the Ultralisk. These other Zealots targeting down the hatchery. Yes, they actually are targeting down the hatchery. They're going to be able to get it as well. Very good pickoff right there. More Zealots over here taking out drones that are retreating, finding a safe place, but only finding the side blade of a Zealot right there. Dark Templar on the hatchery on the top side. Solar in so much trouble just when he takes a really good fight. That is activity everywhere, and Hero is just making the life of Solar an absolute misery. To Viper Yoinks will deal with the mothership, but that's just one of the units available here, together with a massive amount of static defense. Solar kind of pushed into a corner here, hoping to get himself some form of aggression going. I would imagine after losing all those bases, all that mining. Clear advantage now into Hero's favor. Solar tries to now get some sort of a siege going into the Protoss' newly established bases here, but that is just so much static defense. Okay, the Broodlords force the initiative onto Hero right now. Moves back a little bit, I guess. Oh, Dark Templar were moving in on the backside. That's actually a really cool attempt. Imagine if you... Oh, man. If you get in with Dark Templars on the backside of the Zerg army, you just start taking out Infestors that way. That's a really cool attempt. Didn't quite make it work though. At least I think that was his attempt. Maybe he just wanted to get more drones. Which is also a good thing to do right now. Void Rays jump back forwards as the Tempest were in a bit of a pinch. Right now those Fungals are really doing a number onto the Void Ray Tempest army. Starting to plummet slightly, but the shield battery overcharge keeps a good portion of it alive. couple of Vipers out of the sky now. I think that was all of the Vipers, not a single one left. We do have 7 Infestors, but the Infestors are struggling a little bit with their energy as well. Void Rays quick enough to remove themselves out of the range of the Corruptors. Get back to the shield batteries right there. And heal up some of their damage, I suppose. Spore Crawler Forest now is chopped down by the Protoss Woodworkers. Talking about Protoss Woodworkers, they're carving up some of the big stumps of hatcheries over here. Once again, we'll be able to get this base. Very well done. Another base on the top side there is trying to be created. Zealots won't be able to pick that off, but man, Hero's doing a fantastic job here with this late game army composition. He is absolutely everywhere. He's doing a lot of harassment while still maintaining a good presence here at the forefront as well. A good couple of Viper yoinks though, taking away some valuable units, as Solar is still hanging on here. It is quite a surprise considering the amount of income advantage that is available for Hero here. Solar's efficiency with his army does seem to be helping him out quite nicely for the time being. Ooh, massive fungal on those Stalkers. Will not be enough. There's a recall available. Very good fungal. Parasitic bomb right there onto the Void Rays. Stalkers attempting a run by as well. Attempting to break down more bases. BT's jumping on top of this opportunity now. There is an Overseer, but it's a little bit out of reach. Cannot see those Dark Templars. Yeah, keeps most of the Ultralisk alive right now. Most important bit of that army, I suppose. Needs to keep that going so it will be able to deal with the Zealot run-bys. You know, to hopefully at some point in time start mining out of these bases again. Void Race on the bottom looking ever so dangerous still. Oh, wow, very good fungal right there. Solar waiting for it. Just be careful not to lose too many Infestors for this trade, of course. Just the Parasitic Bomb. Hopefully that's enough now to finish off these Void Rays. Still losing a couple of Corruptors and Infestors in that trade as well, though. It's a bit weird in a sense, but oh well. Ooh, now we are talking. This is a very scary counterattack from Hero here. As well as he's still moving forwards with these Void Rays. Most of them are going to be taken out right now, I would imagine. They're just waiting out to the prismatic alignment, and now the Corruptors are going to be able to chop that down. But once again, losing this base. Solar knows that is too much for him. He's still got one shot left. Alright. Looking into the left side of the field, and then slightly to the bottom, it's Blue Zerg. Waiting to see if he can get himself that initiative one more time and have the blood of his opponent flow. It is Kaisi Gaming. Solar. His opponent, bottom right side, he's not going to make it easy. As we've seen before, a very formidable opponent once again. A Protoss that's been away for a while now, looking like a shining star once more. It is Dragon Phoenix Gamers. Hero. Alright. Does seem like Hero definitely starting to kick everything up a notch once more. And turning everything up into high gear with this return. A little probe looking to be pesky. We have a Forge in the production tab. He noticed the quick gold base being attempted here by Solar. Solar now gonna have to be threatened by that pylon right here behind the golden minerals. It's gonna be a long while before he sees it as well. I highly doubt it's gonna be able to cancel that hatchery before he does. It's getting close though. He might be able to still cancel this, but is that what he would like to do? I'm not sure if you have a choice. I'm not sure if you have a choice. Yeah, the cancel has to come in. The cannon already did its job. Could be cancelled now as well. A very nasty start here for Solar. But Solar, he went for a very quick natural base here as well before he went for any queens or of that sort. So maybe anticipating a potential cancellation of that hatchery taking place. And then just being ready with that other hatchery already in production. Now using that money from the cancellation for another base right here. So this is going to work out. Solar does have a couple of units already coming over. Hero trying to get as many gateway forces out as possible here. 2 zealots, a adept as well. Solar's got the 4 links. Not going to be enough, of course. Clearly not going to be enough in this situation. Oh, you know what that is? Wait, what are the zealots doing? The zealots not turning around, so one of them dies. The other one now also in a bit of a struggle. The adept is shading away from the zealot, so he got nibbled upon. Not the cleanest start, but you know what? There is still a threat here that Solar has to deal with. Not sure for how long this threat is going to persist, though, as he should be aware. It's a lot easier to just make a lot of Zerglings than it is to just, you know, make more gateway units all of a sudden. Solar inevitably is going to have more than enough to deal with this. It's not a PvP where you both have the same amount of production, right? Let's get this cannon over here as well. So we'll see if that ever gets a little bit lucky and finds himself some more value. It looks like that's a no. Zerglings will be on top of this. Can he attack it? He cannot attack it with that. Okay, well, that's a shame. What? What? Alright. Oh, okay. I know the cannon has less HP than the pylon, but he just took 200 HP of the pylon already, and then he went for the full HP cannon. Interesting. Not sure if that was the most efficient way to do that. It would have been. He tried to be so efficient by just attacking the pylon and hoping that the cannon would have like a blind spot where it wouldn't be able to hit something. But, yeah. Oh well. Oh well. Ah well. Couple more drones being picked off, that Oracle doing its thing. That is a large amount of Zerglings, but not enough to take out that third once again. So where's Hero gonna take this? Right, there is a Twilight. It's gonna stick with this aggressive play here, because this is so far a very aggressive opening. Right, not just the cannon, but also just running across with 2 zealots and 2 adepts. It's more common to have the 2 adepts come in. It's less common to have a zealot even being produced, let alone 2 zealots and then running across the map. I guess if you do make the 2 zealots, this does become more of a common thing, but yeah. Oracles still doing their job. Might not be, the game-ending amount of worker kills here, but they keep the majority of the Oracles alive. Did I get a scout on the Spire as well? Where is that Spire actually? Is it over here? It is over here. No, they did not. That Spire is still hidden. For how long, you ask? Yeah, well, we'll see. A little bit longer, it seems. It's just there. The perfect place. Oh, now he sees it. Though it's at the very front, it might just expect like a spore crawler there. Right? May not have clicked on it. We are seeing the blink already coming in, but I don't think that is, you know, a change up of his plan. Depending on what he saw, he just wants to get the fourth base cancelled again here with a blink stalker attack, I would imagine. Alright, Dap's attempting to get the shade going here. Maybe just to buy themselves a bit of distance between them and the Zerglings. Road speed about to finish up, as well as a good amount of those Mutalisks. Good base finally established. Solar finally will have access to the golden minerals that he wanted for the entirety of the game. Bit of a gold minerals-aholic himself. There's enough gateway reinforcements, right? Should be coming in. Maybe didn't quite have the weapons available, so loses a couple of those stalkers. But so far, Solar avoiding the probes. Maybe a bit wary as he sees the Stalker numbers here, the Gateway numbers as well, maybe, or the Twilight. He might realize that this is the play where his fourth base is going to be under a lot of pressure. And again, it seems like he himself was aiming to do a lot of pressure here. Roach, Ravager, Zergling army. The Queen's not yet involved. Two of them are marching in right now. I don't think the rest of them have any plans of joining the operation. The Mutalisk in the bottom side of the map. The Stark is now from two angles here, trying to sandwich this Zerg force. It's a little bit awkward because, you know, the Protoss is the player with the force fields here as well. Wants to try and minimize the amount of units that can get involved, but it kind of works out for him. The shield battery on the right side, keeping that flank well and secured. Immortals on the top side were still alive. Don't think any of them were killed off. Yeah, all of the Immortals still alive, so that is very solid stuff right there. Solar might be wanting to look into shutting those down, of course, as the first opportunity arises to do so. Getting some Starkers here moving in again, just slight micro, just nice stuff overall, getting the value where you can. Poking away at the Zerg army as it is still in the front. A little bit of a Ravager Bile hit to the face there, losing a sentry. Let's take a gander at the resources lost tab. Is this working out for him actually? Well, it's hard to say. Mutalisk not getting anything done either. The Protoss forces are still going to be growing here as the Zerg is maxed out, but maybe this force right now for the Zerg is finally grown enough. Might actually be able to take out the Protoss here, although the two Immortals still alive, still kicking from the back there. More Biles once again hitting Hero's army. A common threat throughout this series so far. Losing that Immortal there as well. A very valuable unit again getting hit by the Biles. Something that Hero doesn't seem too accustomed to. Again, getting hit by the Biles quite massively. But it just doesn't seem to matter. Solar will have to retreat here. The Stalkers were enough. Oh dear. I hate to be a broken record, but again, some Biles there connecting rather juicily onto the Stalkers. Imagine if none of those Biles landed, right? This would have been a GG, I feel like. Unless if Hero just figured out that it's not worth dodging the Biles, it's just better to keep on shooting. I don't think that it is. That feels like something we should figure out naturally in a way. Another attempt. Banelings this time will be marching on forwards. 4 seconds until the Baneling speed completes. Might be quite a surprise here for the Protoss right now. Stoke is still huddled together on the top side. Alright, Solar this time around will be able to break this, as there's not enough Protoss here anymore. It looks like a massive SimCity wall with the gateways is still being rather peculiar, but Solar not gonna let it sit in its way. Nexus falls, Hero falls as well, GG is called. Solar still manages to make it work with a wave number 2. The Banelings this time around didn't fall short as they did in that game on, what was it, Romanticide. I think it was Romanticide.